I don't know about you, but I knew nothing about Tron when Tron Legacy came out. Tron is this old-ass movie from the 80s and 90s, I don't know, Jeff Bridges is young in it, that's all I know. It revolutionized what was possible with computer-generated imagery and visual effects. Me at the time didn't really care about that. When I saw this new movie, Tron Legacy, I was like, holy fuck, it looks sick as hell. It's got cool visuals and explosions, hell yeah. It's like the ultimate version of dark and gritty. It's got motorcycles like the Batman one, and it's all black like the Batman one, and it's got everything black like the Batman. My child self was loving it. All I loved was edgy stuff. I loved how dark The Dark Knight was, a movie that came out like 2 years ago, and I was obsessed with it. So I saw Tron and I was like, oh, motorcycles, black, I'm in. And so it hit theaters on December 17th, 2010, and I never watched it. I guess even though it looked cool, what the fuck is Tron? It ain't Batman, that's for sure. Fuck yeah, Batman rules. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's this thing called Redbox. You get movies and games from that bitch, so on a random night, boom, my dad got Tron Legacy to watch by renting it out, and that is the simple story of how I got to watch this movie. No massive spectacle, no emotional buildup. It was months after I had seen the trailers, and while I knew of it, having it in front of me at this point in time was like, oh, Tron. Cool. So my family sat down. I know it's just me in the frame, but I'm not gonna hire a child actor for this video, and I got to watching Tron. And that shit blew me away! Like, I cannot explain it. It's such a grand operatic film. Joseph Kosinski absolutely nailed it. The visual effects are some of the greatest I've ever seen. They still hold up more than 10 years later, other than this dude's face. Tron Legacy does not get talked about enough, and I'm just here to say, Tron Legacy is cinema. But now a word from our sponsors. Are you sad because you want to build credit but don't know how? Well, do you want a smarter yet convenient approach to building credit? Yeah! Well, you're in luck. Let me show you the Pedal Card. No way! Pedal 2 is here, designed to help you build credit. This card can potentially give millions of Americans access to credit who have previously been overlooked. Yes, even if they've never had a credit score before. Pedal 2 sincerely makes it easy to succeed financially. Most credit card companies want you to spend more, pay less, and fork over an annual fee. The Pedal 2 Visa card has no annual fee at all. And your cashback grows with you. You'll get 1% cashback right away and up to 1.5% cashback when you make 12 on-time monthly payments. Their mobile app is also awesome. Use it to track your spending, make on-time payments, and manage subscription settings. Pedal 2 is partnered with WebBank member FDIC, which issues the cards, and as of today, Pedal 2 variable APRs range from 12.99% to 26.99%. So start building your credit history. Go to the link in the description or go to pedalcard.com/browntable to find out more. If you can't spell, it's pedal with a T, PETAL card.com/browntable. Thanks so much, Pedal, for sponsoring this video. And let's get on to Tron. Tron Legacy came out at an incredible time, and I'm not just saying that to say that. Blockbuster is bankrupt, with Netflix being the leader. Everyone had an iPhone or a smartphone by this point. It wasn't a novelty, it was a necessity. But just because Tron Legacy came out at a great time, that doesn't mean it came out at the right time. If this film came out today, I believe it would be a lot more admired, because when it was released, smart technology was only just starting to grow, and this kind of technology hadn't advanced to the point where we'd be using it for hours and hours on end in our lives. The human race has progressed a lot in 10 years, and Tron Legacy comments more so on a world that uses technology constantly, and that to me was not really the state of the world in 2010. But now? Oh yeah, and that's a testament to this movie to be able to stay relevant 10 years later. I mean, just look at it. They use digital tables, something the 80s film had. These movies have been looking forward towards the future since their inception. But the difference between Legacy and its predecessor is that while Tron is all about how cool and powerful computers can be, Tron Legacy, a movie that takes place almost entirely inside a computer, is all about how important humanity is.
I want to go with you, Dad.
One day, you will. I promise.
I watched the original Tron before watching Legacy, and man, that movie is tough to get through. It's very slow, it's very dated, but it's sincerely, it's kind of slow, it's pretty slow, It's kinda slow, it's pretty dated, but it's sincerely brilliant in many ways, particularly with its grand ideas for personifying computers and programs and all that jazz. Tron pretty much did 80% of the groundwork for the world building in Tron Legacy. The Solar Sailor, the identity discs, it's all there.
Now that is a big door.
Now that is a big door.
One thing that does stick out is Jeff Bridges' character, Kevin Flynn, a genius that is absolutely obsessed with computers and video games. Hell yeah! He is so relatable to the children! But yeah, he's a guy that loves computers and is eventually transported into one. And where do you go from there? Where do you take the hero that shows the world how the CEO of Encom stole his video game ideas? Where do you take the man that helped take down the Master Control program and regain control of the grid? Where do you take a man who is on top of the world? You make him lose. Kevin Flynn is absolutely obsessed with computers, and I mean it, he talks about the grid like it's his own child. He is ready to show the world the grid and what can be done within it.
In there is a new world.
This world that we cannot see.
In there is our future.
This new world that humanity isn't ready for is within Kevin Flynn's grasp.
In there is our destiny.
And at this point, unbeknownst to everyone, Kevin Flynn loses control of the grid, all thanks to himself. Kevin Flynn's own arrogance is his death sentence, and the character's arrogance takes shape in the form of Clue.
Dad.
You know how there's man versus self stories and man versus man stories? Well, this combines the two. Kevin Flynn has to confront his old self, a version of himself that cannot appreciate what he already has. With similar desire to integrate the human race with the grid, his goal is to bring the grid to Earth to truly create a perfect system. And yeah, while light cycle fights and disc battles are super cool, it's pretty much a gladiatorial arena where you watch people kill each other, and that's kinda nuts. But hey, that's what's deemed perfect entertainment by an imperfect person. Those are some of the coolest action sequences in the film too. And like I said, the CG is still top tier. It's been more than 10 years since this film came out, and it's still incredible to look at. Everything other than Clue's face holds up perfectly. And it wouldn't be Tron Legacy without Daft Punk, baby. I can't really play the Tron Legacy soundtrack too much in this video because it'll get claimed, so I'll just say that the music makes so much of the movie. It makes sincere moments more emotional and turns grand moments into groundbreaking ones. Sound really is as important as the visuals, and Tron Legacy is a prime example of this. I, for one, paid serious attention to the music when I was younger and loved the film's theme. For me, how you make a recognizable theme is simple notes that are attached to a character and are repeated throughout the film enough times to become iconic. And I hope my theme for Interstellar Ranger Commence gets stuck in your head too. But forget how this movie influenced me as a creator, let's go back to Clue. Clue is out here putting himself on a pedestal because he is Kevin Flynn. So he's got the same ego, same video game ideas playing out on the grid.
You will create the perfect system. I will create the perfect system.
But he wants out.
Out there is a new world. Out there is our victory.
But this version of Kevin Flynn does not understand laws.
Out there is our destiny.
All this talk about offering destinies and futures in a new age, it's all egotistic babble coming from a flawed man that believes he knows what's best and knows what's right for everyone. Kevin Flynn relinquishes time with his son because he's out there building perfection when it doesn't exist. It's a standard no one can meet. It's an offer some people will still refuse, and he keeps toiling away anyway. And in the end, that's how he meets his doom, leaving his child, Sam Flynn, to fend for himself.
When you're acting like I'm gonna find him sitting there working, just, hey kiddo, lost track of time.
Sam Flynn lives in the present. He knows how the world is and he knows what's wrong with it. He technically owns Encom, but due to his reluctance to attach himself to his father, someone that left him when he was younger, he only participates at a distance, ensuring Encom doesn't screw anything up. Eventually, at the end, seeing what his father could build, seeing the potential, and seeing how his father regretted not spending time with him, all Sam has left is the grid, Quora, and the company. That's his father's legacy. And now, accepting his father, he decides to take the
Company back, Alan.
Hence, Tron Legacy. Yes, sir. We now understand the importance of the title.
Are we some kind of Suicide Squad?
I love what the film does with Sam and Cora. Sam's someone that's always wanted to see the grid, while Cora is someone that's always wanted to see the outside world. Our world, and it puts these two worlds in perspective. The film holds humankind and the Earth in high regard because it just is. The grid was, well, created by some dude. All those living inside are just programs, ones and zeros. Are they truly alive? No. It's like saying if you break your phone, you kill Siri. But Cora and the ISOs are different. That'd be like if a random AI called Dave popped up on your phone and was like, "What's up? I am Dave." These ISOs weren't designed by anyone, and they're killed off. The main difference is that ISOs are actually alive, with intentions past doing what they're told to do. And look, you might think, oh, what about Clue? He's literally building an army to leave the world, but no, he's still a slave to Kevin Flynn's order of creating the perfect system.
I took the system to its maximum potential.
If he truly was a person, there's a chance he would have forgiven Kevin Flynn at the end, where Kevin apologizes to him, but he literally can't.
The thing about perfection is that it's unknowable. It's impossible, but it's also right in front of us all the time.
And this scene is fucking gold, because Kevin Flynn is pretty much talking to his past self, his flawed idealist self, and sadly Clue cannot go past his directive, which is the difference between programs and ISOs. Kevin Flynn believes ISOs deserve to live in a world of free thinkers. The conversation between Cora and Sam about the sun particularly hits because Cora has never seen it. She wants it described to her, and Sam has to describe it, but it's indescribable. It isn't really something someone can just create, and that's what's amazing.
Warm, radiant, beautiful.
To live is to take in all these new experiences, to marvel at things that aren't perfectly designed. And in that imperfection, you find perfection.
What's more imperfect than our world?
In the end, Cora experiences the sun for the first time and it captivates her. In this moment, she is truly alive. And not only is that beautiful, but in the scene prior where Kevin Flynn sacrifices himself for his son, the images that flash through his mind aren't him building the grid, or him in the grid, him toiling away. It's moments when he was taking care and having fun with his son. Moments that he'd kept locked up in his mind for years, feelings that he felt he could never get back. But they're there.
Sometimes life has a way of moving you past things like wants and hopes.
And he was able to live again thanks to Sam's reappearance. And this entire sequence hit me like a truck, I gotta say. I don't know, and maybe it's just that, I'm always working. Heck, the day before writing this video, I went out with my friends and had such a great time. And it makes me wonder what I'm missing out on by staying cooped up at home all day working. That's what I was thinking of upon revisiting Tron Legacy, now older and now able to understand the plot fully. I don't want to become Kevin Flynn, and I don't mean the fact that he was a CEO and super rich or something. I just mean, I don't want to become someone so self-absorbed that he can't even find the time for the people he cares about. But at the same time, I want to create something that people will remember me by. And it's tough out here, man. It's tough to figure out what your goal in life is. But ultimately, I think there's no plot. There's no map, no guide. The world is basically a giant grid, and it's up to us to create our perfect system. Or at least as perfect as we can make it. Sometimes you just gotta make do with what life throws at you. Appreciate the things that give you joy and figure it out from there. And maybe that's what it means to be alive. Thanks, Tron. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure to get some Browntable merch on the Crowdmade store, link in the description. Thanks so much Hollow Naruto 63 for the awesome fan art. Super adorable, super kawaii. Hope looks dope in that outfit. If you don't know who Hope is, make sure to check out Interstellar Ranger Commence, the animated series I'm working on, link in the description. Thanks so much patrons for supporting me. It's been a really tough time getting this video out there, but you got to see it like a week early because sponsors took a long time. So thanks so much for the support, more stuff incoming. Now if you're not a Chad and you want to join the Chad Nation, all you have to do is click the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. Once you do that, you will join the Chad Nation and you will have access to the grid. I'm not joking. If you think it's tough, don't worry. It's literally Minecraft, just black. So thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope you come back to the table.